Okay, Mega Whale team, welcome back to the channel and thank you for tuning in. In today's video, we are taking a look at a altcoin analysis for Ethereum and the altcoin market, discussing the possibility of a reversal or whether or not Ethereum and the altcoin market is preparing for a next leg toward the downside. Before we get into it, make sure to smash that like button, hit the comment button, and subscribe to the channel. And if you are interested in more of this kind of content, you can join us on our main channel, Mega Whale Crypto, where we discuss Bitcoin on a daily basis. You can also join us on Telegram. This is the first link down below to get access to charts, updates, educational posts, analysis, economic news, and so much more, including access to our VIP channel by clicking the pinned comment and contacting our admin. If you want to find out more information, you can click our trading track record link or our videos showing you inside the VIP channel itself. For more information, check that out. Let's dive into the content, guys. So taking a look at the market, we are looking at both Ethereum today as well as the altcoin market, as Bitcoin has continued aggressively toward the downside over the past couple weeks. The altcoin market, and particularly Ethereum, is looking incredibly weak, with Ethereum massively underperforming even that of what a lot of altcoins are doing. We're going to be discussing the key horizontal macro levels we are paying attention to, potential reversal points, targets, and exactly what we expect moving into the next few weeks of both altcoins and the Ethereum price. Let's go ahead and get stuck into it, starting on the total altcoin market. So as we can see here, this is going to be our total altcoin market cap. We do have on our left our total market cap. This is a representation of the entirety of the cryptocurrency market, Bitcoin included. This is very important. In fact, these two charts are of massive importance. I would say the total market cap chart is going to be more important than the altcoin market cap chart and can be used as a leading sign of where we're going to see the altcoin market go, particularly Bitcoin dominance continues to rise. So let's start on this chart discussing the key level. The key level we are watching is going to be the RSI, the 42.60 on the RSI, represented by this horizontal base of support. To put very simply, this is the bull run support in terms of momentum. If we drop below this level on the RSI, it is going to represent a negative momentum shift, and it will suggest that we are going to see continuations lower, as the last time we saw a break above this level was actually when we entered the initiation of the bull market. This is when we entered the start of the bull run and in fact the end of the prior bear market. Since that point onwards, we have been establishing higher lows, but we've also seen the RSI hold exactly above that 42.60 level. So a loss of the 42.60 would be a leading sign that the market is getting ready for an extended move toward the downside. So it's absolutely paramount that this level is able to hold its support to prohibit or prevent Ethereum and the altcoin market from correcting lower. If we fail to do so, we will very likely see corrections across the board. But if we are able to sustain above, should I say, it is likely we do see reversal. So let's move over to the altcoin market. The altcoin market is looking pretty miserable. If we look at the altcoin season, quote unquote, and we look at what we saw in historical cycles, the 5-point pattern we discussed in our videos many months ago have all but been invalidated. And the 5-point pattern essentially was where we had a phase of a macro downtrend. We had a phase of consolidation and the creation of a yearly resistance. We had a phase of breakout and sideways consolidation. And then we had a parabolic phase. That was our 5-point consolidation phase. If we look at the current cycle, what we saw was number 1, our bear market. Number 2, the horizontal consolidation and establishment of a yearly level of resistance. We had the breakout of the yearly resistance as point number 3. We had a sideways consolidation as point number 4. And then we had the parabolic increase in price as point number 5. The issue is this continuation upwards has very much deviated away from what we saw in the prior altcoin season, as we have failed to sustain or even break out from the prior all-time high point. Essentially, the rally of which was meant to result in a parabolic altcoin season did not do so. In fact, what we did see was we saw mass rotation back to Bitcoin as Bitcoin dominance continued upwards. We saw increasing bearish exhaustion developing as the price continued upwards. And this was all exacerbated by the fact that while all of this was happening, we had a massive issue with the supply of altcoins in the market. That being, I guess, pushed by pump.fun and all these meme coins coming out, massively diluting the supply in the market. So we had the same amount of money traveling or being dispersed across 100, maybe 1,000 more altcoins, which resulted in the total market cap not looking too bad, but the individual altcoin generally performing very, very poorly on a higher time frame basis, that have a week or two period where they do very, very well, and then they more or less die. And some of these altcoins have moved back to bottom. So when we're looking at the total altcoin market, the market cap, this is not going to be a depiction of, I guess, where the altcoins are sitting, where those individual altcoins are sitting. But when we're analyzing the potential directional moves for the altcoin market, it could impact the directional moves for these altcoins, regardless if they're holding well, regardless if they're at all-time lows, regardless if they're just moving sideways. If we see the altcoin market rally upwards, those altcoins will rally upwards regardless of where they are. If we see the altcoin market drop to the downside, those altcoins will likely move downward, regardless of where they are. Now, there always are going to be some altcoins that will overperform and underperform, so that is key to keep in mind. But this is an analysis. This isn't an analysis of individual altcoins. This is an analysis of the altcoin market, and the total market cap, although it isn't a good reflection of the price of these altcoins, of where these altcoins should be at this particular phase of the cycle, if we're still looking at cycles, but a representation of where they may move and how they may move in the future period. So when we're looking at potential corrections lower for the altcoin market, we are watching, as you would guess, the horizontal base of support, the RSI level, which we again have sustained above ever since that 2023 October period, when we broke out of this macro downtrend. We had this macro downtrend in consolidation. We broke through. We saw the RSI create that low and continue upwards, and we saw the price action continue aggressively upwards. Therefore, if we see a weekly close below this level, it is highly likely that is going to trigger the next large corrective move for the altcoin market, potentially back to as low as 500 billion, that lower band on the Gaussian channel. That is worst case scenario. And if that happens, altcoins will drop another 20, another 30%. Let's talk about what would need to happen for the altcoin market to reverse here. So as we can see, we are at a level of support. We are sitting in this major yearly level of support. We are sitting above the 50 EMA, and we are sitting above the Gaussian channel upper band. Now, with all this being said, we are literally sitting on the edge of the cliff for the altcoin market here. And if we see these levels lost, we are expecting an aggressive correction, at least down to this prior change of character at 640 to 650 billion pretty immediately. So it is absolutely paramount that the market is able to sustain from the levels we are seeing the price action currently test. As we can see on the daily, we are pushing back in to this Gaussian channel, retesting the resistance under the 200 moving average. We need to really start creating some new higher highs on the price action, breaking through these levels at around 860, at around 80 billion, and most importantly, 930 to continue upwards. If we are able to break above 930, that is when the altcoin market is going to be bullish again. Until then, we do have that risk of that continuation and that laddering downwards to this prior change of characters at around 640 to 650 billion. So I do not think the altcoin market is in an amazing spot. As with Bitcoin, as with the total market cap, there is potential for reversals, but as we have been saying, we need to see this overall downtrend we have been trading in break. We need to see that go toward the upside before we can be confident in these reversals to sustain. Until then, the downward risk is possible, and we need to be aware of the consequence of those moves if it does develop. Let's move over to Ethereum, guys. And before we get into Ethereum, make sure to go ahead and sign up to BitGet, BitUnix, or BingX. The exchange links are down below. You'll support me making this content, and you'll support yourself in your trading journey with a cheeky 15% lifetime discount on all your trading fees. That can build up to 45%. There is literally no reason to not to take advantage of that deal. You'll also trade on exchanges I personally trade on and trust. We'll play an ad and we'll jump into Ethereum. If you are looking for a new exchange or just want to support the channel, sign up to BitUnix with the link down below. You'll get a lifetime trading fee discount of 15%, which can build up to 45% based on your trading volume, as well as access to a bonus reward center, and of course, all of the exclusive campaigns we run on this exchange. You'll also get access to Bitunix being a non-KYC exchange, meaning you can sign up from anywhere in the globe without regulations. And most importantly, I only promote exchanges I trust and I use. As you can see, I trade on Bitunix very regularly, being the highest VIP level with over $500 million in trading volume for the last 30 days. And lastly, if you were interested in signing up to our other two exchanges, BingX or BitGet, you can also do that via the links down below. You as well will get the 15% trading fee discount and everything else that comes with it. Go ahead and sign up. Thank you for supporting. Let's jump back in. Okay guys, let's jump into Ethereum. Now the Ethereum chart is looking abysmal. It is looking abysmal. We are seeing some massive weakness perpetrate on this chart over the last few weeks, having corrected from that $4,000 high. Nearly 3 times we had this triple top formation developing over there, correcting over 50% value. We're now underneath 2,000 US dollars. Essentially since the start of January 2025, we were just over 3,000. So a massive pullback in Ethereum over the course of the last few months. Coming down to retest a pretty interesting level of support. This is going to be that 2,000 psychological level, which we are just kind of sitting on. In fact, it is a level of which we had 2 prior change of characters, 2 prior major resistances. And in fact, this was our bear market bottom resistance. This was our yearly level of resistance. If we zoom back out to the price, we can see that we consolidated under this level for a very long period of time. In fact, from June 2022 to December 2023, we consolidated underneath this horizontal resistance at 2,000. When we broke above that level, that is when we saw that bull market start for Ethereum and the price massively increase over 100%. However, unable to break above 4,000, we have now seen the price action correct back into these lows. So what are we watching for? We're watching for a few things. Number one, for us to be confident the price will continue upwards, we need to see this prior level of resistance, which is currently now a level of resistance, reclaim. We need to break back above. We need to show that this is a deviation below that level, and we need to establish some higher lows above here before we continue upwards. That is best case scenario for Ethereum. If we do not see that, the next logical move for Ethereum would be with the rest of the market. If we see the total altcoin market continue down, if we see the total market cap continue down, if we see Bitcoin continue down, it is likely we will as well see Ethereum continue down, and our targets are going to be these prior equal lows. We're looking at around 1,600 to 1,500 as a potential bottom for Ethereum, and again we could see some deviation before we continue upwards. That would be best case scenario. So personally, I am not looking for entries. If we drop below this equal low over here at around 1,527, I will look for entries upon that deviation, and then we are expecting continuations. But until then, if we sustain below 2,000, okay, we are expecting continuations lower. That is it for Ethereum. I don't think there's much more to say. Overall is looking pretty bad. Overall, when we're expecting reversals, we are tracking the rest of the market, such as Bitcoin and the total market cap. On Ethereum at the moment, we are waiting for continuations towards these major levels of support, where we're looking for deviations, liquidation grabs, and continuations upwards, or we're watching for these prior levels of resistance to be reclaimed and turned into support. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll catch you in our next video. See you then.